welcome to math class. I am super glad you're here because we're starting a new concept today. We are going to talk about rounding. I can hear you. Miss Buckley, we already know how to do that. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you remember that from last year. But we're fourth graders now, so we are going to make it a little bit trickier. Now listen, you might be asking yourself, why do I even have to learn this? Why is it important to round numbers? Well, mainly because it helps us with estimation. Estimation means that we're getting close to a number. It tells us about how much a number is worth or what it's closest to on the number line. If we are estimating how much money we need to save for something, we don't have to worry about the exact dollars and cents. We can just estimate, we can round numbers to know about how much we need to save. Well, I've got just the perfect opportunity and I need your help with this. I'm planning a trip to go to England at Christmas. Isn't that cool? I'm so excited. I have a friend over there that I'd like to go see. And I need to know about how much money I need to save for this trip. So I've done some research. I found some plane tickets. I know that I need snacks, and I know that I need to get a taxi from the airport to my friend's house. I wonder about how much that would cost. Well, I did some research, and I know right now what it costs, but prices change, right? So here is where you can help me. I want you to help me find out about how much money I need to save for this trip. Here's what I discovered with my research. I found out that a plane ticket costs $1,322. That's what it costs today, but plane tickets are up and down all the time. I don't need to save exactly $1,322. I need to save about $1,322 for that. I also know that I need to have snacks. I'm the kind of girl that needs snacks. How about you? Do you need snacks? Of course we do. So snacks in an airport are super expensive. And I know that I need to, every time I travel, I spend, I don't know, last time I spent $17. I found my credit card receipt and I could look and see that I spent $17 on snacks at the airport. I also know that I need to get from the airport to my friend's house. And a taxi costs $28. Well, that's what it costs right now. But as I said, prices change. And I need to have about that much money. All right, this is when rounding comes in handy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you a quick little strategy. Step one, we look at the number that we're talking about. In this instance, it's 827. I want to circle the digit being rounded. I'm going to round this number to the nearest tens. All right, think place value. This is ones, tens, hundreds. I'm going to round to the nearest 10. So I'm going to circle the digit that needs to be rounded. In this case, the 2 is in the 10 spot. I'm going to look to the digit to its right. In this case, it's in the ones position. And I see that it's 7. If the digit right here next to the number being rounded is 5 or more, we round this number up. If this number is 4 or less, we round down. Now, a little rhyme that helps me remember is if it's 5 or more, we raise the score. If it's 4 or less, we let it rest. Now, we're not quite done. Now, I know that 7 is greater than 5. So 5 or more, we raise the score. So now I take this 2 in the tens place and I bump it up. I raise the score to 3. So I have rounded up to 830. You're like, what? Hold tight. Let me show you. Here's a real easy way of looking at it. Let's take that number 827. I'm rounding it. Did you see that? The light's in the way, isn't it? All right, let me move that light. There, that's better. 827. I'm looking at this tens. I'm rounding it to the nearest 10. What I can do is I can isolate this. And I'm looking now, okay, now I can see 27. Which two sets of tens on a number line does the number 27 come between? Well, I know that it's definitely 20 because there's 2 in the 10 spot. So I know that it's between 20 and, yeah, you're right, 30. I can ask myself, is 27 closer to 30 or closer to 20? You're right, it's closer to 30. Let's double check though. Here's my number. I'm going to circle the number that or underline or circle the number that I'm rounding. I'm going to look to the digit to the right, and it's 7. All right, it's 5 or more, so raise the score. I'm going to take the 100 stays the same. This 2 rounds up to a 3, and then this becomes a 0. We don't have to worry about the ones place anymore. We're really just determining, is 827 closer to 820 or 830? We know that it's 830 now. All right, well, that's not helping me get to England. I need your help now. Let's take a look at this problem. A plane ticket, I told you, not cheap. I need to go ahead and I need to round that to the nearest 100. I need to know about how much. So I don't need to really worry about my ones. I need to know how many hundreds I need to save. So remember our strategy. If I'm rounding to the nearest hundreds, I need to underline the digit in the hundreds place. Let me find that. Ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, this is the number that I am most concerned about. This is what I'm looking at. I need to know if this is going to round up or round down. Well, I don't need to look at the 3. That's not going to tell me my answer. It's neighbor. What's in the 10 spot is what is going to tell me if I need to raise the score or let it rest. The number, the digit is 2. Is 2 greater than or less than 5? You're right. So 4 or less, we're going to let it rest. Our 1,322 means that this number, we're going to let it rest. It stays right here. Let's just let it be. And now I can turn these into zeros. Remember, the only digit we're worried about is the hundreds spot in this particular problem. We rounded down to 1,300. Let's look at the snacks this time. I can't round it to the nearest hundreds, really, can I? I don't even have anything in the hundreds spot. I'm going to round this one to the nearest 10. All right, let's take a look at place value. Are you thinking? The only digit I'm truly worried about changing is what's in the 10 spot. Here's my ones, here's my tens. This is what is either going to be rounded up or rounded down. Let's take a look at our neighbor here. Ah, it's 7. Remember our rhyme, 5 or more, raise the score, meaning we'll round up. 4 or less, we'll let it rest. It will stay the same. All right, so 5 or more. Is 7 greater than 5? Yeah, easy, right? So now 17, I'm going to round this one up. I'm going to raise the score. This 1 becomes a 2, and then we just put 0 ones. 17 is closer to 20 than it is to 10. Do you agree? If you have $17, you have almost $20. So we were able to round 17 up to 20. All right, I'm almost there, but I've got to get from the airport to my friend's house. We need to round this number to the nearest 10 as well. You ready to help me? Which digit do I need to look at? What digit am I going to underline here? If I'm rounding it to the nearest 10, I need to underline the digit in the tens place. Here's my ones, here's my tens. All right, this is the number that I have to, that's going to guide me. I know that the number 28 is between 20 and 30. I'm trying to determine, is 28 closer to 20 or is 28 closer to 30? Let's find out. All right, I've underlined the digit to be rounded. It's the tens. I look at my neighbor. My neighbor is 8. 5 or more raise the score. So it must mean that 28 is closer to 30 than it is to 20. I can hear you. I heard you just say, duh. Listen, we're just getting warmed up. The numbers are going to get bigger. All right, so we're not quite done. Now I can use the numbers that I have rounded to help me estimate how much money I need to spend. Let's take a look at our numbers that we have rounded to, and we're going to add them up. Are you ready? All right, let me get my black marker now because I need to see. My plane ticket is going to cost about $1,300. I'm going to put my dollar sign so I remember that I'm adding money and not like peanuts or something. So $1,300, that's what I rounded to. My snacks are going to cost about $20. I'm going to make sure that I'm lining my numbers up according to place value. Do you see how my ones are in a column and my tens are in a column? Here's my hundreds and my thousands, but 20 doesn't have hundreds or thousands. So I need to make sure it stays in its place value. And then my taxi ride is going to cost about $30. Again, notice how I'm keeping my ones and my tens stacked on top of each other. I want them to stay with their buddies, right? Ones with ones, tens with tens. All right, here comes some really easy math. 0 plus 0 plus 0, duh, is 0. Now let's see, we have 3 plus 2 plus 0. Baby stuff, right? You're right. Now look, what do I do with this? There's nothing to add it to. Well, I know in my head that there are these invisible zeros that are placeholders there. So I can add 3 plus 0 plus 0, that gives me a 3, and 1 plus 0 plus 0 gives me a 1, or 1,000. My friends, I need to start saving a lot of money. My estimated cost of my trip to England is $1,350. And we just figured that all out by rounding. Oh my gosh. So now you know why it is so vitally important that we know how to round. All right, this was just a little beginner course. You're going to have a chance now to round some numbers. In your Google Classroom, you will have this anchor chart, this one right behind me that says rounding. That way will give you a little clue if you kind of forget. You also have this video and another one from, I think, Mr. J or something like that. I found some cool dude on the internet and he's got a little reminder as well. So you've got lots of resources. If you get confused, watch the video again. If you're still confused, ask a grown-up. And then if you're still just boggled, Give me an email, give me a call, give me a text, and I'm happy to help. All right, guys, happy rounding. I hope you have an amazing day of learning.